A NHL Insider reveals a report on Manny Malhotra with the question around Adam Foote and if he will be the Canucks head coach next season, while we also get even more on a Canucks prospect as his agent reveals the future of him moving forward with the organization, plus an update on everyone's favorite Braeden Cootes as he is legitimately looking like a star of this franchise moving forward. We're going to break down everything you need to know on the report from Manny Malhotra, on this young player within the Abbotsford system and Braeden Cootes, plus so much more on this, and you're not going to want to miss it. Before we get into that, I just want to give a huge shout out to everyone watching, and if you're part of the almost 60% watching this video right now, we just reached our goal of 9,000 subscribers, so we're setting it at 10K for the upcoming draft, so make sure to hit that free subscribe button, and I'll keep you up to date on everything to do around the Canucks, including the upcoming draft, free agency, trades, anything you can think of, you can catch right here on Canucks Digest, so make sure to hit that free subscribe button. It means the absolute world. Now, there's a lot of reports and a lot of talk around key things within this organization. Of course, a new general manager stepping in, two Sedin stepping into a front office role, but there has been one rumor floating around the Canucks, and is what is happening with Klimovich. Now with this, of course, a young player within the Abbotsford system, 23 years old, and in the final year, of course, needs to be signed heading into July 1st. This sparked a lot of reports and fake reports coming around that he's going to head back to the KHL, but Dan Milstein, his agent, came out to clear the air and say fake news, we're going to keep him in the system. And this is a young player that's going to get very interesting, especially with the Canucks heading into a portion with Danila where you're going to look at, of course, bringing up a lot of youth within this team to get them into the NHL, to get them action. Now looking at this from Belarus, 23 years old, a second round pick in 2021. We can see each season 25 goals, 38 points, of course, a drop in production, a minus 17 this year. But Abbotsford as a whole, with the team, was dealing with a ton of injuries. The Canucks dealt with injuries, which took Abbotsford's healthy players up to Vancouver. The ECHL got stripped down to, of course, get them up into Abbotsford. Overall, not a great year for the Abbotsford Canucks, but what is your guys' thoughts? And I kind of wanted to throw to the comments. Looking at this team, of course, there's going to be a lot of movement. We know that Ryan Johnson made it very clear that they're open to anything with the cap space. They believe they're going to work with it. This seems like a gym that genuinely wants to make a change. We know that he's going to change the locker room, but with this, do you think there's a real world where guys like Jake DeBrusk, maybe even Drew O'Connor, one of these wingers are moved out, and we're going to start pumping more Abbotsford players in? Of course, we're going to have the third overall pick. Whoever that might be could join the lineup immediately. Of course, you're going to get other players making the jump. Cootes, Lekramaki, all these guys are going to start in the NHL. But do you think it's safe to say that a lot of these guys are slowly going to be moved out, or do you rather keep the foundation, make the trades at deadline? Hopefully it's not the same one where we're seeing Patrik Allvin say, hey, you guys would laugh if you heard the values I got. Shout out, though, with Boeser. He's still with the organization. I love to see that. But I do want to dive into it, guys. Speaking of the youth movement within this team, and Braeden Cootes played games for 4 jerseys this season, spread across 3 levels of play: NHL, WHL, and the World Junior Championship. He produced 88 points, 33 goals, 55 assists in 75 games, including playoffs. Now, the big thing with Cootes and the Prince Albert Raiders sadly losing in the WHL finals just last night, but with Cootes and seeing the production, this is a kid that has shown that he can play at every single level. Of course, losing in the WHL finals does hurt, but since joining Prince Albert, the production, 40 points in 28 games, jumping into the playoffs, the best player on Prince Albert, without a doubt. 23 points in 20 games, including 16 assists. This is the player that's going to continue to develop and get into that opening night roster, and it doesn't even feel like an if, it's a win. We see this guy break into the NHL. We've seen 3 games already this season, of course, a -2. The team was dealing with injuries, but Jim Rutherford, now an advisor with the Canucks, so not a president of hockey ops, said that he fully expected 3 new players to join the organization: Cootes, Jonathan Lekramaki, and their first round pick. Depending who you get at number 3, Ivor Stenberg's name continuously pops up. You know, Caleb Malhotra is another name. Chase Reed, a defenseman. There's so many options for this team at the 3rd overall pick with your young guys. What is your guys' thoughts on the overall start of the rebuild? We heard Aquilini say it, so it seems like we're actually getting this. What is your thoughts on the start of the rebuild? What is your thoughts on the 10 picks in this draft? It's going to be very interesting to see how the Canucks continue to lean into this and hopefully stay leaned into it. But speaking on the future, and this team moving forward, of course, a big question around the team that Ryan Johnson even spoke about himself was Adam Foote and what they're going to do. Now, with the Canucks, we got a report coming out from Darren Dreger going in to say, I know the Sedins have a lot of time for what Ryan Johnson did and what Manny Malhotra did in their American League. You can't hold Manny back. What would make a whole lot of sense for me is cut him loose. No, I don't love this report. With Manny Malhotra, of course, he did an incredible job with the Abbotsford Canucks, going out to win a championship in his first year as the coach there. But then looking exactly Adam Foote, who joined this Canucks team as an assistant coach for 3 straight years, taking over the head coaching job. Looking at what Adam Foote did, am I going to sit here and say I love his system? No, I'm not going to. But looking at what Ryan Johnson said, it would be unfair to evaluate Adam Foote based on everything that happened this past season. Now, of course, looking at this season, Thatcher Demko went down, Quinn Hughes traded, you moved Sherwood, Tyler Myers, Garland, the list of 40 things happened, and of course, towards the end of the season, it felt like he elevated this team, maybe not on the ice, which is fine, we got the 3rd overall pick, though we wish it was 1, but this is a coach that, of course, was a very good locker room coach. Before taking over, multiple players spoke on Adam Foote, his open door policy, what he meant to the team. Quinn Hughes loved him as a coach. Of course, it doesn't matter because he's over in Minnesota if he even stays there. But this is the team now where you're looking at a rebuild. And if Adam Foote can come out, build a foundation, a culture, something the Sedins and Ryan Johnson spoke about, there is a world where he returns as head coach. Now, of course, they're going to sit down, speak with Foote, interview, make sure he's on the same path. But looking at this, will Adam Foote be back? Ryan Johnson says they'll evaluate it. Reference, it was the first day on the job, of course. This was the question asked when he was named, along with a lot of other things. I did a full video on that as well. But with Adam Foote, it's going to get interesting. Manny Malhotra and what he's done with the Abbotsford system, the way he's built up the young players. Linus Karlsson came out like a bat out of hell with the Canucks in this first season. When looking at the rest of the team, a lot of the guys have been developing very well with the Abbotsford Canucks, but they need to go in a certain direction of finding out the exact tools they want, building a culture, keeping this foundation here, and making sure everyone's committed to it. If Adam Foote doesn't want to do this, of course, they're going to move on. But fans, I want your thoughts on this as well. Who do you want as the next coach of the Vancouver Canucks? Put 1 down below for Adam Foote. If you want to keep him, if you think at the very worst, we tank again, which we're going to look at doing anyways. But with Adam Foote, maybe you have a higher chance of getting a higher pick again next year, so you want to keep him. Put 2 in the comments for Manny Malhotra if you think he's the guy to come up. Someone that's worked with the young guys in Abbotsford already. Someone that's been very good at developing young players with this team and other teams when he was with them. Or 3, would you rather get an experienced coach that has been in the league? Maybe a guy like Woodcroft, a guy that was once an Oilers coach, did an incredible job with the Anaheim Ducks this past season. What type of coach do you want on this team? Let me know all your thoughts down in the comments because I love reading through them. I've been your host, Mark Pye. Hopefully you guys enjoy this. Hit that free subscribe button. I'll see you in the next one.